I used to write. I used to be an author until my writings caused a lot of problems in the world. Like if I did I'm Nietzsche, my hero, so I stopped writing. And I have advice if you want to be an author, a writer, or an artist. Don't try to be an artist, an author, or writer. Go out into life, and when life then provokes you or gives you so much of an overwhelming reason to write or create, that's when you write. Never really sit behind or look at a white piece of paper or a white trestle or a white board or something and try to squeeze something out that isn't there yet. So I urgently have to make this, is what I'm saying. Urgently, this world has made me urgently make this document. Um, so yeah, that's some advice on creative writing. Just go out and about and be observing and mindful, and kind of look into the world, and you'll suddenly find something you have to talk about. You have to get out there or express in some sort of way. Okay, so my hometown is now the international attention of racist Irish bigotry and Islam coming over here and displacing. It's not, and it's weird. And I was very upset by it all because I'm the resident Nazi. Fucking racists taking over, getting fucking on 6-1 News. I'm the fucking resident, well, not Nazi, Jamaican Nazi man, because they don't like nationalism too much in Jamaica. Um, so yeah, it's a hard and weird thing to explain, and I've just given it a day or two to mull it over, and I've realised what's happening. These people are angry. This is to do with the Irish word of mouth. We probably have a phrase for this because all our education used to be word of mouth. It's a very word of mouth country. I got stabbed in the head for silly gossip and word of mouth. So some guard talked to cousin, cousin talked to cousin, cousin, and it's not close to cousin's a criminal kind of thing. They're if they're guards in the first place. And people have heard like, oh jeez man, you want to see it? There's 160 of them up there, and they're all men, and there's no documentation. And they're all in camps, man. It looks like fucking Auschwitz up there. Madness. What? It's up around the corner there, Ben. It's up around the corner. You want to see it? The mountain, man. They're all men, man. And they've no documentation. And it's like, what the hell's going on here? And, so you think about it. We live in a republic. It's a very strict country, and it's very difficult to get into this country. I can't even get out of this country. I'm trying to apply for asylum to Russia. Yeah, with what's going on in the world. Any kind of enemy of America or not friend of America is a friend of mine at this moment. So, and I saved Iran once or twice. I saved Russia once or twice. So I'm trying to get asylum out of Ireland. I can't get out of Ireland. I have no convictions. I have paperwork, passport, everything, and I can't get out of the country. So how can these people get into the country? Is more so the question. I already made videos about what happened around Parnell Street. Um, some very high-profile ceremony or gig got busted open, and they were auctioning and killing kids like there and then on some stage. And there was a lot of high-profile people in the building or in these buildings. The whole place got shut down. All city centre got shut down. They evacuated Higgins, and I think Mary Lou McDonald was also actually there. Not, I don't know. Just as this, these are mild conjectures, or they're very people make very massive conjecture or allegations about me all the time. Um, so yeah, I'm sure we're free to make general not accusations, conjectures. Higgins and Mary Lou McDonald were supposed to be there anyway, and they all got escorted out and rushed out of there. There was a knife attack about a month prior in that very area of an Algerian man, and as Gardaí usually done and have done so many times with me, tried to blur events. They left it out to the population that he was an immigrant, and then they just leave it there, and then they just let the Irish society boil, and he's probably Algerian. He's probably fucking Muslim from Algeria coming over here stabbing. Think about it. If you were an Algerian or something like that and you got into this country, you kind of, I know there was an Algerian knife attack, but you wouldn't really risk, living in this nice country, running around stabbing kids randomly, screaming, ISIS, Allah Akbar, ISIS, ISIS, ISIS. You wouldn't really risk it all. If you got into the country, you keep a low profile, you try to get some work, you wouldn't run it. So anyway, but there was nothing about this on the news the next day. The whole city centre got shut down. There was kids being stabbed. There's in general word of mouth, word of mouth. There's kids being stabbed. There's kids getting killed, auctioned off. I've also made videos explaining why this happens. This practically fuels public health care, killing kids, and I've made videos explaining this, and why all the people that got many of the people that got coronavirus were on private healthcare, because it's fueled by dead children and their souls. I'm just going to say you don't need to know too much. They're souls of dead children, their ovaries and their birthrights and things. Yeah, so I'm getting a little bit off topic here. This is word of mouth. So there's a lot of this going on in Ireland now, and they just left it to the public that they were immigrants. But these are wealthy people from Switzerland, the Netherlands, Canada, people from Florida, New York City, Rose World, elite have flooded this country and have flooded this country for the last 10 years. They've brought some nice things. IPA, never heard of it. Irish Pale Ale. They came over here from all their countries and they look, you don't even have Irish Pale Ale in Ireland. There's like, no, we have the Carlsberg and the Guinness and then suddenly all the IPA. And I was thinking gentrification. Gentrification is a word I learned recently. Is when people flood into an area, take over, bring lots of stuff, but kind of push everybody else out, the original culture out. So in ways, gentrification is good. You get car parks and shopping malls, and you get car dealerships that sell the top range. And like I've seen these garages, and they're fucking hardly Irish, Bugattis and everything in them. Anyway, so gentrification is positive. And next, if you think you're a politician, predict gentrification is very pleasing or appealing. They'll bring loads of money. They'll bring loads of money and they'll bring loads and loads of stuff. And you'll notice that all the Irish politicians are million, if not billionaires at the moment. And they're all supposed to be on a school teacher's wage. The payment of a school, practically similar type of civil servant. More I want to say about general politicians and the work of a politician, but I noticed I went back to my hometown, which I don't want to say at the moment because yeah, obviously, but it's a small town in Ireland, and they're protesting madly against it. Are protesting aimlessly, basically. They've had enough of something. They don't know what it is. Kids being killed, something happening, immigrants coming over, and as usual, the government just leave it and kind of generally say, "Oh, Africa, oh, Islam," or something like that. Yeah, so they just leave it to the public to decide, and then the public it becomes some kind of static witch hunt then, and they don't even know who or what they're looking for, but they're really angry. So the Dublin riots happened because the very next day, no newspaper mentioned what happened, which is very questionable. If it was just some Algerian man, they'd be happy to stick it on the front of the Sun or every single newspaper. Algerian man running around screaming, "Ah, Allah, ISIS, Akbar," stabbing. They'd love it. They'd do it in a blink of an eye. They put people from these protests on the 6-1 News in the blink of an eye. Friend of mine, a friend of family, my family friend, and so on the 6-1 News. I'm always trying to get this on the 6-1 News, but they'd no problem yet. So anyway, they'd no problem putting people from these protesters on the 6-1 News from my local little backwatery kind of town that has been gentrified. We have a big silly hotel and garage and everything, and people out of the hotel and the garages are probably just brothels anyway, or in some sort of weird brothels or something. The garages, and sorry, I don't mean talking weird. So they're angry anyway. They don't know what they're angry at, and they can't figure out. And the government keep redirecting you back at Algerians or something, or something, and they don't even know where to direct you. And so yeah, I'm liking the anger now because I wasn't liking the anger. I was slagging them all. I was like, "Down with this sort of thing, Father." She says, "I didn't know we all had to be racist now." This is breaking their balls. Like, good for you, Father. Fucking immigrants coming over here, taking our jobs and all our women. Good for it. It's kind of slagging them. My mum was like, keep a low profile. It's very serious. Like, there's mounted detectives all over town. Like, the whole place is flooded. So I'm keeping my head down. But these boys are going wafting around my estate with national flags, like Irish national flags, and again, I'm supposed to be like everyone calls me Little Hitler, and I didn't really like it, but then I just fucking accepted it. So maybe I am Little Hitler. And there I'm not going running around wafting Nazi flags around the states, chanting weird slogans about killing the Brits because the Brits came here too. Fucking. So they're angry, but they don't know what they're angry about. And this is what I'm actually talking about. It is actually gentrification. It's wealthy people. It's wealthy immigrants. It's nothing to do with. But then this is a really weird tie-up in the situation. So this weird old house that they're occupying, it's up at the very back of the house. It's a weird old, scary looking building. It's very outdated. Could have had lots of weird stuff to do with the church happened there back in time. My mother used to work there. My mother used to, if not volunteer, she probably was working, I imagine so. And at the time they were taking care of, not generally or specifically traveller children, but children where their homes couldn't accommodate for the kids, and they used to stay up there. And it's a very hard place to be, and all your kids are taken away from you, and they're all forced to live together. They probably want to be at home as well. It was a hard place for my mum to work anyway, but my mum, Christian grit and all that kind of thing, stuck it in, and yeah. I don't want to say the name of these places again, but it's very scary now to think of that place that was a place for Irish children when I'm about to get onto what I think is happening up around the back there. So again, they're angry about immigrants, and there's about like 260 or 200 immigrants, sorry guys, not people, humans, up there. And again, this is the land of Céad Míle Fáilte, 100,000 Welsh. The only reason, again, you've said this in my videos as well, Ireland is specialist because we welcomed strange Eastern people in this country, people that had been persecuted halfway across the world and could find no rest. The friends and family of Jesus Christ, actually. And they were strange Eastern looking people, and we welcomed them here into this country, and we all turned golden, and everybody turned golden. Same what happened up in Sweden. Yeah, they took in a few apostles, and stuff. I think we took in Mary Magdalene or something, actually. So it was she was being hunted like the Scarlet Widow all across the world, and everybody was just had the devil on the shoulders, like ho 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 ho, fornicate with her. Even in France, they tried to take her to France, and the French couldn't keep their hands off her. But the Irish kept their hands off, and that's why we have such amazingly Marian devotions in this country and statues of Mary everywhere, because there was where Mary, Mary, even not his auntie, his mother, the lady by the well, I'm not sure, found peace for after a long time, and was so happy to have found peace. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. So the fact that Mary found solace or peace in Ireland, or Hibernia general at the time, might have been kind of England, to be honest, more so than Ireland. And the children ran away to Ireland, children of Aaron. But the lamb was sure to go, so Christ was very much with the place that gave peace and refuge to his friends and family. So it's a very weird thing to be seeing this kind of thing in Ireland, when we're supposed to be welcoming strange people from the East that have had a hard time and can find no peace. But we're all teaming up and saying, no, Ireland says no, and my town says no, I don't. But anyway, so there's this weird cocktail, and they all got battered badly without warning. I was watching the footage. It was all terribly orchestrated. A lot of people commenting have made some very valid points that there must have been a lot of persuasion or money involved if they could carry out so much police attention for was originally a peaceful protests and things. But again, they're protesting something and they're not sure what it's about. And it was this hearsay originally. It's like, jeez, man, you want to check them out up there? Hundreds of them, man. Hundreds of them in tents and all up there. And then I think of hundreds of people in tents, I just think, death camp, I just do think death camp. And I didn't really think that at first. It was, well, the big old scary house, the old orphanage or whatever, the big old scary house that's probably been used for a few creative features. But the people up there want to know who owns this house and who's the ownership, and is this government property, is it private property, and who owns this house? And it's somewhat a very good question to ask, and you'll probably actually be sorry you asked it. These people, particularly, as you say, there are women up there, because I can kind of see a scared lady up there. I can see a scared lady up there. They're mostly men, but have poor documentation. They're not going to be missed by their governments. They're nice people, believe me. They're probably very nice and very intelligent people. They're not going to be missed by their governments or their families. They probably lost all their families. They're probably alone in the world. They probably lost everybody that'll be looking after them or asking after them to make sure they're okay. This land and premise, these buildings and these lands, as I think, are probably owned by. So I didn't mean to jump. It's very logical. I haven't made this sequentially very rhetorically sound. It is a death camp. I just realized that's what they're not sure what they're angry about, what's happening, and they're angry about the situation, but they don't know the probably root of the situation. It probably is a death camp. Yeah. And if they weren't killing the kids, the Irish kids, before, they're probably killing these people here now. There might be a bit more money now. There's so much war and famine and displacement in the world. That's like, screw taking care of these Irish kids. We can have a nice big juicy Holocaust factory in here taking 160 every month, and we'll just bring them in. And it's like, they go in, man, and they're all like, they go in, but how did they come out, man? No, you see them going in, but you don't see them coming out. I was like, well, that's kind of fucking something to think about even in itself, isn't it? Like, they keep sneaking them in vans, man, but they don't come out. I was like, yeah. Uh, they, you know, things go in, they don't come out. Auschwitz kind of thing. Um, so yeah, and it's probably being run by these same people that Deathcraft. Like it's a big business. Like I said, these things fuel private healthcare. These things, death. Um, uh, there's no cows out there. Did I just hear a cow? um, there used to be cows and sheep out there. There's a freaking gentrified building site. Just kip. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's probably being run. And again, the residents are angry about something going on up there, something weird, something dodgy, and they're all kind of asking like, "Who's that in there, huh?" And it looked really silly to me at first, like they're like, "Who? Oh, who's this? Who are you?" It's like, people, I don't know, who are you, man? Where are you going? But if you think about it, they are angry. Their souls are angry. There's something inside them that's burning, but they don't know what it is. And yeah, this is probably the same people that are killing kids on Parnell Street. Your government, you're wealthy. Scum, people call scum, and this is a weird, funny. It's a very popular word in Ireland. You're scum, or you scum bag, a big bag of not nice things. Scum, I was thinking of it as in defense because scum goes to the top. Scum rises to the top, and it's not pleasant stuff. It's not nice stuff, but it rises to the top. So when you scum is actually really rich people because they're blatantly rich. They're at the top and they can't really justify their wealth. So there's probably dirty wealth, dirty money, scummy money. So scum is actually for really rich people. Our government at the moment, who are on top, can't justify the amount of wealth they have. It wouldn't be republicly sound to criticize your learned colleagues or to question their finances in any way, especially the Republic of Ireland, which is probably why all these rich, super wealthy murderers love it, because the Criminal Assets Bureau aren't really, unless you're a criminal convict, there's no like wealthy man assets bureau, really. There's not even a fucking minister for internal affairs in a republic. In a republic, there's no minister for internal affairs, which is why the rich people can get away with so much in Ireland, because Ireland is so good at just turning a blind eye, keeping on and saying, Jesus, you couldn't even talk about it. Well, it just doesn't bear thinking or talking about. Just doesn't bear talking about. Just carry on down the new duns. Oh, we got a lovely. Anyway. So yeah, these are angry, and you don't know what you're angry at. But I'm going to direct you. Yeah, I'm not Hitler, I swear. I'm not going to take over government. I'm not going to take over the Vatican. Crap, I am. I didn't fail my arts degree. I didn't complete my arts degree. Oh, crap, I am Hitler. Hippy Hitler, little hippie Hitler. Okay. Yes, stealing my line, Nazis. These aren't Nazis. And then when I started slagging them about being Nazis, they kind of woke up. Was like, is that what we're doing here? Being Nazis? And a lot of them realised, what? And they picked up their 10 chairs and the camp chairs and said, I'm not some racist Nazi. But no, you were up there for a reason. And it's not racist because these aren't. I was looking at so many of them. They're all happy, smiling families and things. And even the protests in Dublin, they were technically against austerity. And not exactly sure, but very not happy about it. I am Myanmar. I don't feel safe. Signs, but they just said it was against immigrants, and they said it was racism, and they said it was, and it's not really. I saw loads of weird signs in the crowd that weren't anything to do with migration and big marches. So kind of just need to get focused and on the topic or on the topic of the day. I do like your spirit. I don't like Nazi flags wafting through my estate. I'd love to be out with a Prussian war flag. I just get in trouble. I'd love to be wafting around a nice old Prussian war flag, old Second Reich flag. I can't fart, but they can walk around waving Nazi flags and chanting, Chucky Arla. Chucky Arla. I looked it up the other way. It's a Ta de la Taga. Ta de la Taga. Yeah. Glad you grew a pair of balls anyway, Ireland. I love the riots. Isn't it beautiful? Shut up, you freak. You're the one that caused all this. Can't take responsibility for everything. Yeah. I'm glad you're taking it seriously, because I'm not the only one taking this seriously. Yeah, if you want, I can't actually because I might get in trouble for directing. But you want to just look into very wealthy people that have taken over your country in the last 9 years. Again, they're scum wealthy, so they're scum obvious. They stick out like a sore thumb. They're very wealthy, very, very, very wealthy. Just putting up estates and building big towers and big apartment blocks all over Donnybrook, and Stillorgan, and wanting to put a big fuck off maison enough in the fucking sky. They'll be looking to build water parks and city centres. Ireland. We need housing. I thought I saw some graffiti in town. I'd like to leave Iceland. I thought it said, we want. It said we want houses, not water parks. I thought it was we want houses with water parks. I was like, yeah, we want houses with water parks. So I want a skate park out my back garden just to all you gentrifying wealthy people that have destroyed my lovely lamb field. My field of lambs used to just love watching the lambs pass up and down. You learn a lot, actually, from being a shepherd, watching them pass up and down during the day. You learn a lot. You could take it, you could actually learn enough to destroy a king or to challenge a king. King David. But yeah, I just want to you put a nice skate park right out my back garden there with the main bowl where you put the main swamp. We have a reservoir. It's just a massive reservoir. It's just practically a rat jacuzzi. At the back of it. So we put the main bowl there, and then you can tear it up with some tennis courts and some basketball courts and a nice little skating area. And a nice, maybe a colored tarmac for everybody. Just like black is so black, so maybe a nice green tarmac or something all around. Yeah. Seems as you're gentrifying, and the IPA, I'm very happy with the pale ale. So yeah, but go home in the right to say to the right people. Just pack up and maybe leave, and take everybody with you. Take Sinn Féin and the IRA, and take Higgins and all your wealthy politicians with you. Please take them all, and take them back to wherever you came from. And I'm very welcoming Islam. Yes, in the front pews of our Christian churches. Yes, I'm taking it seriously. Okay, so yeah, Toki our law and Erin Gajo. Like Joe. Joe's a nice lad. Erin Gajo. What does that mean again? I don't know. Gajo August Hitler. And yeah, you gotta know your enemy, or you gotta know what's going on. But I'm glad you got out there and anyway did something. Delighted kind of with the riots. Don't mean to be again encouraging violence or it wasn't about hatred. I can't believe he blamed the people after that. I know a video already gone on about that. Stomach's turning. Yeah. I don't know. I'm never good at finishing things. The last word, but I never have a good punchline at the very end. No. Yeah, we're not racist bigots anyway. I had a nice hometown. It was very, very nice. Very nice. If I was going to be born here or placed here, it must have been a nice place. Yes. All of my neighbours must have been, predestined to be the neighbour of yes, me.